Hi, this is Joey Ebanks, and I'm just letting you all know that the Joey Ebanks Show is for paid programming. I accept all liability from the show. My guests will accept theirs and all callers, and I am not affiliated in any way with the Paramount Group of companies, its managers or employees. Welcome to the Joey Ebanks Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I hope you guys had a great weekend. The phone lines are open today. I have the Jordanian coming in. He's going to be my guest. We're going to chat a bit about what he knows, how he gets his info and other stuff. So we're going to have some fun. But before we get into that, I just want to let everyone know that last week I had my family come in. They wanted to come in and they wanted to weigh in on the issues. So they got to do that. And this week we're going to cover some more of the fight against corruption. We're going to interview some candidates as well. And my first meeting to kick off my campaign. I had the campaign launched, which dealt with much of the other issues and the corruption. And starting tomorrow night at the Frank Sound Park at 7:30, Frank Sound Park at 7:30, I'm having my first official campaign meeting where I'll be unveiling and presenting to the people of Northside, the good people of Northside, my plan for my first term in office. I'm asking them to give me their support. I'm asking them to give me their vote. I'm asking them to get behind me and this. We have a lot of problems in Northside, predominantly as it relates to unemployment. And I can assure you that I will be delivering the low-income housing. I do have that plan in place, and I have support. We will cut unemployment. We will immediately attack that. And I want to make sure to the people of Northside that, you start to lift your heads up now. We need to lift up. We have a lot to be proud of. There's in fact 4 candidates, Northside people in this race, 4 candidates, and there's certainly in the district itself it's me and Ezard. He's made it clear he will not change his modus operandi. I'm going to ask my producer to just play that clip. These are not my words; these are his. I'm going to ask her to just play that now.
On May the 22nd, I think the people in Northside can rest assured that I am not going to change my modus operandi. I am who I am. I am the product of being raised by the village of Northside. A vote for Ezard Miller ensures the continuation of the kind of representative that I have put forward.
So, in other words, he's not going to give you anything. You will get, if you re-elect him, another 4 years of what you got in the past 4 years. There's signage, there's things, there's plans, there's lots of signs up with plans, but people of Northside, you are taxpayers, just like every other district resident in this country, and you shouldn't have to dig in your pocket for projects that benefit your community. And I can assure you, once elected, I am not going to be doing that. We're going to get our fair share, our equity. We're going to be treated equitable by whichever government gets elected. We're going to get our share. When you elect me, you're giving me your vote to take to Parliament to fight for you, and that's what I intend to do. No more of you, the people of Northside, being unemployed while others come in and are employed and getting jobs right within the district. Those days are over. I know there's been some issues in the district over the weekend. I'm going to say this again. I know I came out and I spoke to several of you, and I'm saying to you, we cannot let these people push us to acts of any violence, of acts of any disorderly way. We must go the distance. We can't let them commit us in any way. We're very, very close now. I've shown some of you the plan that I have for Northside. You like it. I've said to you, you need to tell me how you want to be involved. What aspects of this can you add value to? How do you want to be involved? What do you want from it? And you need to come together. We need to stick together, and we need to have our plan, and we need to execute that. So let's keep a clear head, big smile, and let's just go through this, and let's just get through to the end. As I was saying, we have 4 candidates. Ezra is one. I am one. And we have Bo Miller and Winston Conlon, Georgetown. So, Northside, being the smallest electoral district, you have a lot to be proud of because you have produced 4 people in this election. Now, certainly, I'm saying to you that Ezra has no intention of giving you anything, but he's still a candidate. I'm saying to you, I would not, if I could, vote for Winston Conlon. I would not. He's just along with the wrong team. Certainly, I believe he initially got into this for all the right reasons, but you can get into this. I've experienced where you can get into this and get around the wrong people, and they lead you down the wrong path. And I've extended that to him, and I have no intentions of saying anything, derogatory, anything mean or bad about him. He's a Northsider. And then there's Bo Miller. And, you can say what you want to say about Bo Miller. You like him or not, the guy's been saying the same thing for a very long time, and he has some good ideas. And we have to respect the fact that he has some good ideas. And I just want to say that certainly something is wrong in this country when the majority of us will see that he has good ideas. He's been saying the same thing now for, 15, 20 years. And consecutive government after government, having heard these ideas, have not pulled this guy in and say, hey, during the campaign, yeah, you lost, but during the campaign, you brought up some good ideas. We want to consult with you. We want to pay you to help us implement some of these ideas. Because this is supposed to be for good of country, That's what this is about. And until we can get to that point, we haven't matured politically. And I'll tell you something else, folks. Joey Ebanks is not supporting any form of national volunteerism where the Caymanian people must dig deep to help while we continue to hire and pay massive amounts of money to consultants overseas. We have expertise in this country, and we need to start paying them too. Not everything our Caymanian people are going to want to be paid for, but someday they need to be paid for. And we need to utilize our experts in this country more. And if we're going to take taxpayers' money to ask for advice, then we need to ask our people to put some money in their pocket. Because to the people on the North Side, I can assure you that my intentions during the first term of office is going to be that for every one of you who asks someone to buy a drink, you will not be doing that ever again. I'm going to see to it that you have employment. I'm going to motivate you. I'm going to take you kicking and screaming if I have to a better way of life. And we have plans, and all the plans we have are very doable. But you need to help me now so I can help you later. You need to get behind me. We need to keep our heads straight. We need to make sure we go the distance. Let's go the distance. It's just a few weeks left. I have my first meeting tomorrow. Let's see how many people we can move out of the district of Northside and from around the country to come out to the Frank Sound Park. Come out at 7:30. I'm going to be there. I'm going to put this up with a projector on a screen. I'm going to see to it that you get a clear understanding of what this plan is. And to all the other candidates in the race, I'm inviting you as well. I'm inviting the media to come out. And to the voting public, those of you who can make it, I'm inviting you to come. We will have some light refreshments. I understand the Commissioner of Police said we can give away sandwiches, and I've seen others doing it, so we'll have some sandwiches too. And the thing is, I want to show you the model that I'm presenting to the people on the North Side, because this model can work in every district. And, take it or leave it. I'm not saying I have all the answers. The model is one thing. The input into the model, I rely on the North Side people to help me create. So don't take this as any arrogance and coming across like I have all the answers. I don't. I had to ask a lot of people a lot of questions for input on specific areas of this model in order to get it right for the people on the North Side. And I'm still asking them for input. I'm still asking them, how can we make this work? Now, I've gone the distance, and I can assure the young people in the North Side, I know one of the things that you're looking forward to is that mechanic shop. And I'm going to see to it that you get that. There is absolutely no doubt. You get me elected, you're going to get your mechanic shop. I'm going to see to that. And it's not going to cost you any money either, not directly. And you're going to have your chance to do what you do in order to make your money. And we're going to target and we're going to take on the electrical costs in this country to people. And we're going to target, we're going to take on the insurance costs in this country to people. And we're going to come up with innovative and new ideas as to how we can reduce the cost of living by taking on 3 specific areas. 1, electrical costs. 2, the cost of insurance, in particular the property insurance cost that is so high, and mortgages and the cost of those in this country, and how we can change that, working with private sector in partnership to bring those costs down, because those costs have to come down. We're not. Maybe it's just me that's noticing that more and more Caymanians are becoming further and further impoverished. Maybe it's just me, but I'm seeing too much of that. I'm seeing enough of that. And we're gonna on Tuesday night, I'm gonna talk a bit from a national issue standpoint, a bit about immigration, because I've read what the Cayman Compass today posted as the summarized version of what the 2 most dominant political parties has proposed. And I have to tell you that I agree with some of it, but for the most part. I spent the weekend talking to one of my constituents this weekend, and he and I had a very long discussion about immigration and its boards and how and what needs to occur. And we've agreed on a format and a way to move this forward, and I'm going to present that on Tuesday night as well, as one of the national issues. That, along with how we can defeat the electrical costs and just how much work has already been done as it relates to that. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to defeat those things. We're going to overcome them, because it's time for Caymanians in this country to be recognized as the owners of this country. Enough talk now. Because you walk around and you go to workplaces, one of the biggest issues we have in this country is that within the workplaces we have persons from various nationalities arguing and competing for positioning within that organization. Well, the Caymanian is a bystander, an onlooker, left out of the equation. No more. No more. We're going to position the true national person within this country. Is the Caymanian person. That's who this country is for. I've seen on occasion, I've only been, experienced it a few times. I made it clear every time it happened to me. And I've seen where foreigners have aggressively gone up to Caymanians to put them in their place. Now, where in the heck do these people get off at coming into our country? And they see us doing something and they're going to walk up and immediately begin to make all sorts of assumptions and tackle us and put us in our place as if they're our masters. Let me tell you, that has to stop, and it's going to stop. And that has to stop. It has to come about through leadership. Again, go back to what the two parties are proposing with immigration, and you see that they began their thought process. They began their discussion clearly from a standpoint to protect business, not a standpoint to protect the Caymanian people. That makes it flawed from inception. So I have some ideas I'd like to share with them. I'm not saying everything they proposed is wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that the PPM and the UDP is totally wrong. What I'm saying is we need to take a step back. Now, we need to take a look at the Caymanian. We need to decide how we're going to move the Caymanian people forward and how we do that while protecting what you want to protect, which is the local businesses. So Tuesday night, 7:30, Frank Sound Park. It's going to be a presentation. We'll have some light refreshments. I'm going to speak, and I'm going to ask the Northside people to come out and listen to me. I'm asking them to take a look at the model, how we can move it forward. And I've spent the weekend canvassing, spent the weekend going door to door and talking to people, and at the same time preparing myself as best as I can for this lawsuit against Dan Scott that he's filed against me that's coming up this week. And Dan, of course, is I understand some people have told me that he was asked by some people that, why are you suing Joey Ebanks? Why are you suing him? And now I think the question was they wanted to know, what did he do you? But his response was, because I can afford it. Well, Dan, let me tell you, that doesn't always work, The rich and the powerful don't always win. They win when people begin to become afraid of them. And I'll never be afraid of you. And just so that we're clear, for you, for Governor Taylor, for Commissioner Beans, I want to make this very clear, and I'm going to speak very slowly. I want to make sure that this message comes across clear and it's understood. I know you're recording it, and if you're not, I'm recording it. I'm going to post it up later on. It will be a cold day in hell when Joey Ebanks apologized to any one of the three of you for anything I've said. It'll be a cold day in hell. That will never happen. It is my intentions to get elected. It is my intentions to get my independent investigations. And it is my intentions to end corruption in this country with the corrupt elite. And I will not stop. And I am going to have those done. I am going to have an independent and free judiciary in this country that ensures that the Caymanian people have access to justice. And the rest of the candidates, I've reached out, I've called them out enough times. It's up to the people and your constituencies to do this to you now. You guys, I've had a candidate say to me that, one, he wants to stand up publicly and say I deserve justice and defend some of my rights based on the evidence I've presented. And I've presented the evidence, folks. Remember, this thing started out with them publicly trying me, and I chose to publicly defend myself. And I presented my evidence. Questions that still linger, clearly, Why hasn't Ezra Miller been charged, investigated, whatever, arrested for the Ritz-Carlton attempt with hundreds of work permits? And we looked at this, and there's around about 800 he attempted to sell them. The email is there. The evidence is there that he was the chairman of the work permit board when he sent that email. Clear. So why hasn't that been done? Why are they protecting him? We know, one, that Dan Scott is the head of the Legal and Judicial Commission. We know that he's also a part of the National Security Council, which the Commissioner of Police reports to. And we know these things. The Commissioner of Police took my report of corruption. He responded by email saying he had it. He had handed it over to the Corruption Crime Unit. Well, Corruption Crime Unit that he is the chairman of. So we have too many conflicts. Too many conflicts. And these things have to go in. Justice must not just be done, you know. It must appear to be done. And while we have these structures in the wrong way, we can't ensure that people feel they're being treated fairly. We know that 30 minutes after I refused to take a bribe, I was suspended. 4 days later, arrested. So we know these things. Pada made it clear it was Saturday. It was after 5, so around 5. We know these things. I posted up the evidence. And yet this continues. So the people of this country, here's one of the flaws that we have in this country. People make an issue out of something. They bring it up. It lasts for a while. No one really wants to get involved. And so the person that's charging and bringing the issue to the light gets tired and they stop. Not this time, Bobo. Not today. Joe Ebanks ain't stop it. And I've made it clear, my family, you understand, you listen to my children, you understand their position on this. And they know, once I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see this through to the end. Nothing's going to stop me. Nothing. I need to be elected. I need to table this evidence on the table on the floor of Parliament, and I need to ensure that there are people in there that are going to help me with these independent investigations. I'm not in any way proposing that we get elected and go and arrest a bunch of people. I don't want to be a part of that. I want the independent investigations. I want to make sure that that's done, and I want to make sure justice prevails. That's what I want to make sure of. Once that's done, the people will know, and we'll get it out. You, the people of this country, know that the Tempura report has been lingering out there for a very long time. When I began this charge of corruption, you're seeing more and more of it beginning to come out now from Martin Bridger and Kernahan. And more of it will come out. It will come out to the light. The question you have to ask yourself is this. If the Ezzard cannot be charged and is not being charged and is not being investigated for trying to sell work permits as the chairman of the work permit board, who else is named in that Tempura report that is being protected? That's the questions we need to ask. And why? And how connected are they to certain criminal units? These are serious problems, and I'm telling you folks, this is what's causing the United States and the European countries to question whether or not our financial industry is sound or if there's some corrupt money and some shady stuff going on. Now, you just saw in the paper last week where the current premier signed other agreements giving almost absolute and total access. Now, I think it's completely done now. And you have to ask yourself was this the intent of His Excellency the Governor when he refused to follow directions from the Constitution? Total directions from the Constitution, let me say. He opted to pull the emergency power that he has in there. And rather than dissolve Parliament then and call for re-elections, have a minority government. Because now he gets more control of cabinet and is able to deal and tackle our financial industry. Well, we can't allow it to occur that way while there's possibly other people in a Tempura report that also needs to be brought to justice. We can't protect some. There will be no partiality. Let's take them all. Let's release the Tempura report and let everybody see it. Release it to the press. Let the media disclose to the people in a timely fashion what that report entails. But the people of Cayman, we need to rise up and ask for it too. And I don't mean rise up in any violence. I am anti-violence at all costs. I don't believe it is necessary with anything other than self-defense. So let me make something perfectly clear. I will never, ever, ever support political violence in this country. Anyone who picks up their children from primary school and look at those little babies and see those little children and can advocate for violence in any form, there's something mentally wrong with you. We can't expose those babies and those little children to that kind of thing, and I will not be a part of that. I have a voice, you have a voice, we have a vote, and we have freedoms. We have freedoms. And we live in a small society because I can tell you, I tried several times to get some legal assistance with my lawsuit against Dan Scott. And I've been having a lot of difficulty with it. So this weekend, in addition to canvassing, in addition to helping people, I had to go and do a little research and learn a little bit of law, I guess, tort law, I guess, and how to present myself and try and sort this thing out to appear in court on Wednesday. And the real problem is that many attorneys in this country are afraid to take this case on. They're afraid. And I'm not going to call any names, and I don't hold it against them. Let me tell you something. The system is flawed, not them. They have I don't blame them for not wanting to take this on, because even if once we've won and it's over, these individuals have sufficient power to crush them down the road. Crush them. The system is flawed. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. That's my case in itself. This is flawed. I can't even get representation to help me get to court so that I can defend myself with this. So I'm going to have to go to court by myself before a judge, and I'm going to have to say what I have to say, and I have to present my case. And here's Dan Scott coming at me with the biggest law firm in the country, Maples and Calder, who's coming, and it's more of the same thing, and yet he sits on the National Security Council, and he has not in any way ensured that justice prevails by ensuring that, one, the investigation into those work permits that Ezra tried to sell, him and his buddy, Edenton Powell, the bean counter friend he has there, and that email and that evidence that I gave them, that the Auditor General, who did not do his job with the ERA 2011 audit, with Louis Bashir on that audit, he doesn't ask the question, why has the ERA chairperson signed off on this audit, knowing that there were discrepancies, and there's a matter with extensive discussion as it relates to misappropriation of government funds by Louis Bashir and giving himself and the staff bonuses. So these are the issues out there now, folks. Tell me, have I not produced sufficient evidence to make these cases? Like I said, the phone lines are open. We're going to take a short break, and I'm going to bring the Jordanian in. And again, I want to remind you, my meeting is tomorrow night. It's in Frank Sound. It's 7:30. And we're going to talk about several things. We'll have some light refreshments. Maybe I'll get arrested, and I'll get kicked out of the election for giving some sandwiches while all the other political parties can give them. So let's see. I'm going to give out some sandwiches. I'm letting the police know well in advance, just like the others are giving us sandwiches. Maybe I'll be treated differently. Let's see. So come on out. Come on out to the beautiful district of Northside, and let me introduce you to some very beautiful people, and let me present my plan for the district. And let's have some fellowship together, not just politics. Let's chat afterwards. I'll have a roaming mic going around as well. So we'll be right back after this short break, and I'll have my guests on, and we get into some further chat. Welcome back to the Joe Ebanks Show, ladies and gentlemen. I have my guests in the studio. Again, the phone lines are open. It's 946-9898. Welcome, Jordanian. Yes. So you're here. Now, a lot of people say that, you call all the radio talk shows. Why are you so passionate about Cayman?
First, thank you, Joey, for inviting me to the show, and it's a great pleasure. I thank the Rankin family for their this radio station, which is provide a good service for this country. A lot of people ask me why you passionate about Cayman and why you involved so much in the issues in Cayman. I tell you the truth. When I come to Cayman some years ago, about almost 8 years now, I see how much nice and loving people, the Caymanian people. And I see how much this country is great country. a small place in the size of village in United States or other country, but the miracles have this country do in the financial industry and other things. And that is what get me to get involved and see the issues happening in this country. And you see the Caymanian people are loving people. They are silent about some issues happening in Cayman.
Yeah. But you're married. Your wife is from here, correct?
Yes. I'm married to a lovely wife, which I have a child, 20-month-old. And my wife is, she is a public librarian. She works with government. She have a master's degree in science and library studies, and she's studying more, and she aiming to get her doctorate degree. I'm proud that I met this lovely lady here in Cayman.
And what do you do for a living? What's your profession?
I have a farm in East End, which I grow flowers, landscaping plants. I sell them wholesale to the nurseries, and that's how I make my living. I have a landscaping company, and thank God we're doing very good. Okay,
good stuff. Now, you do provide, and when you call the stations, you provide information that other people don't normally have. So you have some good sources.
You see, you have to search yourself by going in the websites, going in the newspapers, going in the international media, going in the, and I am a researcher. I do also go and ask the people too, like politicians, like members of the House, ask them questions, and also search by asking from different sources, because I will not rely on one source in anything I have to say. Because in reality, you have to be honest when you say an information to people out in the road. And that's how I build my respect from people and the trust which people have in me.
It is absolutely key. I agree with you that the information, you can validate it, you can prove it. That's certainly one of the things that's helped me along this journey, is to be able to post up on Facebook publicly, here's the evidence, here's the evidence, here's the evidence. And it's nothing I've written. It's always something that I'll pull from a source and put together, and it's clear what the intent is. So you are a resident of Northside?
No, I have a land. Me and my wife own a land in Northside.
Okay.
But I live in Spot, Newlands.
Okay. Now, you've been attending several of the political meetings?
Yes, I go to different political meetings, and that's educate you about what the people have to offer.
Okay.
I see when you look at the issues in Cayman in general, and how the bad management was the PPM doing in the financial issues, and from $200 million we owe this country to $1 billion. It's make you feel sad. How those people manage our financing, and that is what is make me join the United Democratic Party.
Okay.
In a late stage after I become a resident in Cayman. Okay,
so you're a member of the UDP. Why did you choose to join that part? I mean, you just said about the expenditure of the PPM. But what led you? What is the one thing? What are the things, maybe the top 5 things about that group that makes you a supporter of theirs?
Right. First, they are the only political party really work for the poor people.
For poor, okay.
And you see, I am a person, my heart go down when I see a poor person. And I think the hard work the UDP done for the middle class and the poor individuals in this country is very, very great. If I look at the the mortgage program which the UDP implement, which helping those people losing
Right.
their houses. That's something great.
Yeah.
If I look at the houses they build, affordable homes for the poor people. Other people promise for affordable homes, and all 4 years they never done. The PPM never done anything about those affordable homes. The UDP achieved and done those affordable homes for the poor individuals.
So predominantly that the UDP is what, grassroots, is
Yes,
a government of the poor,
Yes.
and disadvantaged.
It is a government
Yes.
of the poor.
And of course, you're being a farmer, you work very hard. Farmers work very hard.
Right.
Potential losses are high as well. So naturally, it kind of fits within your realm. This is who I am. This is what I want to be a part of. And you want to see, like you said, governments working more for the grassroots and the poor.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit. There was one of my friends actually asked me to ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
And he wants to know when did the disagreement between you and Ezard begin, and why?
You see, I've been listening to the Rooster Talk show since I come to the island.
Right.
And when I reach a point that one day I was at work and I get frustrated because this man been, attacking everybody,
Right.
attacking the DART group, attacking the foreigners, attacking the churches, attacking everybody in this country. And everybody is wrong and he is the only one right. And I go sometimes to North Side and I look around. It make me feel sad. When I see there is nothing being done, nothing being achieved to the North Side people. In the beginning of the 4 years I went there when Mr. Miller was MLA, and until this day, I don't see anything have happened or anything change
Okay,
to
so-
impact the people and life of people.
Okay, so basically that's what the dispute is between the two of you? That's it?
Oh. And
Because
then,
my friend wanted to know when did it start and what did it
Yeah.
start over. So,
he start when I start call and ask him the difficult questions,
okay.
which questions people don't want to ask.
Right.
They want to ask, but they couldn't ask them because, if the pressure I was facing from, the organized people who call that radio station against the Jordanian. And the most thing angered me one day that there is a man who sells vegetables and fruit in North Side. And he grows some plants and try to make a living, a Caymanian, And Mr. Miller was fighting against that man.
right.
And I called defend that man. I said to myself, why I have to be the one defending that man? That's Mr. Miller's job to defend that man,
Yeah.
not my job. But you see, it is sad, when you see this man, all what he know is opposing.
Yeah.
I give you example. I listen to the legislation assembly and I see how MLA like Ilyo Salaman bring a motion, jobs for Caymanian.
Right.
And this motion is a first step, very good thing to employ Caymanians or to do things for Caymanians. And this man oppose and stand against it. And then everything the UDP bring is wrong.
Yeah.
That is in his agenda, in his mind.
Let me ask you a quick question and take a shot at this. Do you think the PPM proposed things that were good for the country?
This time,
Yeah.
I look at their manifesto, and the most strange thing, they are the most, issue concern the people is security and policing and security.
Right.
And all what they address that in about 5 lines. Only 5 lines in their manifesto.
Okay, what about in Parliament then during this term of office? Did you hear that? And here's why I'm asking the question. Because you made it clear, and I totally agree with you, that Ezard opposed everything. In fact, I am of the opinion that the majority of the projects proposed that were withdrawn was as a result of Ezard and Arden, with the exception of the port later on with the UK. So they rallied people. They didn't disclose the full truth. They rallied people, they marched people against projects, and they kept projects out of our economy that would have provided jobs. So I agree with you there. I want to make it clear. But if we're going to say that as well, and you being a UDP member, proud UDP member, I would say,
yes.
Did the PPM propose during this term of office any ideas that you feel were good for the country?
No, I don't see them propose anything good for Cayman. All what they do is just walk out of the legislation assembly, sit down outside in the park and do like a theater and show the people that they are good actors. But in reality, the people want them to stand and go in the legislation assembly. And you see, opposing everything is not the job of the opposition.
Right.
The opposition job is to agree with the good things and disagree with the wrong things.
Right.
But it seems they are taking the role of opposing everything.
Mm-hmm.
They are saying in their manifesto now that they're going to do the port, they're going to do the airport, they're going to do affordable homes in their manifesto. Read it. Mm-hmm. It's in their manifesto.
Okay.
I was reading it last night. I get a copy of their manifesto. And it's sad when you see them just not providing any solution to the people.
So with some of these projects, for example, what sort of, you're saying the expectation would have been that they would get up and say, look, naturally we are not the same party, but this project is good for the country and it'll help people. However, here are the few areas that we disagree on, we'd like to see the following done. For example, it might have been a project proposed that required an environmental study. And they would have get up and say, we support it, we just want to see the environmental study. Had they done that sort of stuff, you're saying they would have been?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that, is what you're saying.
Right. And you see the most sad thing is when you read the PPM manifesto, and they are saying issues like, we need to help the fire service. How you need to help them?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
How you need to help those people working in danger, the firemen? You know, what is the solution you providing? It's just you saying you need to help them.
Yeah,
it's hope.
And it's really simple what the firemen need. I mean, everyone in the country should know what this is. They want to be paid equally to the other uniform branches.
And we agree.
They want training. They want upward mobility opportunities. So basically, they want the same thing every other employee in the country and the world wants. A fair treatment. That's it.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you that when we in office, the United Democratic Party by this election and by God willing, and we become the government, I assure the firemen in this country that we will be providing them with better salaries, better equipment, and we will be providing them in a better living situation.
We have a call on line? Let's go straight to the phone line. Hello, caller, you're on there.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for your call.
Yes, good evening. Barry Solomon here.
Hi.
I would like to say that I understand the plea and the plight of the fire services.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do an extremely important job, very important job, and I am also a custom officer, and I would like to say that, customs also need to be included in that when you say uniform group.
Right.
Because for too long we've been left behind as well.
Okay.
And that is a big that is a big grief within the department.
Let me ask you.
Not just the fire service, and I'm not knocking them because they do a wonderful job and a very, very important role they play.
Yeah.
But please include customs in that too, please.
Okay. Let me ask you a quick question. Maybe you can't answer it, but one of the things that I discovered in my discussions with the firemen is that they had employees there who've been there for over 20 years, and they were not yet earning $3,000 a month. Their wages were below that. Is that something that is predominantly across the uniform branch, or is that something within customs as well?
Well, I hope I'm not arrested for this conversation, but I guess anything is possible. But what I would like to say is, I've been there, I don't like to use myself in.
No, you don't, and I'm not asking you, right? If you have knowledge, if you don't, just say you don't know. I mean, that's fine.
My guess would be yes.
Okay.
That would be my guess. But I think, and in general, I think it's the customs and fire has been left behind.
Okay. And
the other day I think it was Thursday when you were talking, I called into your show.
Yeah.
But I had some problem with my phone.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was cut off or whatever.
No, we don't do that.
No, not you.
Okay.
Not you.
All right.
Not the show.
Okay.
But we do know phone harassment and phone. We know that it's not safe to talk in Cayman phones anymore. That is no hidden secret.
True.
So I'm not sure if I was deliberately cut off by other sources or what have you. But what I would like to say is, when it comes to overtime and stuff like that for those two departments, I think it's well earned. It does not cost the government nothing. And I would like to thank Mr. Bush because I know he made efforts to try to reinstate these things. And, these officers work tirelessly. And I'm not here to make excuses. I know a lot of people would say, well, they're paid a salary. Yeah, that's true. They're paid a salary. But you have a lot of officers that work hard and in many instances are short-staffed and for many years. So therefore, I think over time, to the fire and the customs department should be something that should be should be reinstated. And I spoke to Mr. Bush on several occasions about it. I think he made an effort to try to bring it back, and you can only gather from there, I guess what prevented it. But these officers do the fire and the police and customs work very hard. And the reason why I'm not mentioning police because basically the police department, at least they state what they need and they pretty much get it. But our those two departments, fire and customs, I think hopefully some attention will be given to those in the near future.
Okay.
For those officers do work tireless.
Yeah.
That's basically all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you.
But many times you do, and this is not to knock fire again. I mean, like I say, but it's just that many times that fire is the only one mentioned, and I commend that officer that took that stance the other day in calling in.
True.
But I'm calling in on the behalf of customs because if I don't do it, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
And I say that very bravely.
Yeah.
I've called in on topics of freedom of speech. You have a lot of people in this country, in everything that I've said today, I've not divulged any customs secrets.
No, you didn't.
right? But you got a lot of people today that they think but you can't call the station or whatever. I've been doing it for years, and I will continue to do it. And the day I can't do it, I have to be given a good excuse. But we have freedom of speech.
Yes.
Well, so far we have it. I don't know how long it's going to last. But these things need to be issued. Spoken about.
Yeah.
And that's my 2 cents for the day.
All right. Thank you so very much for your call, caller. And the call is right. I think civil servants need to understand there's been precedents set in the courts in England as to how they can become involved with politics and campaigns during election time and what they can't do. And it's been released. It's out there. They can Google it and they'll find it. You can attend meetings. You can't put on a candidate's T-shirt. You can't go on the platform. You can't really demonstrate your support. But you can listen, and you can listen to what they have to say because you have the vote. So no one can deny you that. We have another call on the line. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Hello, caller. You're on there.
Hi.
Hi.
I was listening to your show this evening, and I would like to ask the Jordanian. He is saying that it was the UDP who is giving the people good housing. Which administration was it that put those tin cans there behind Cox Lumber? Was it the PPM?
No, that was the UDP.
Thank you. Also, who is one that taxing so much on the people that the crime is rising now? Because its cost of living here is through the roof. Was it the PPM administration?
Well, I think...
You see, let me answer it, please.
Yeah. Just hold on, madam, okay?
Yeah. First, I will tell you one thing. Those affordable homes start by the UDP government in the time when was Mr.
Dr. Frank McField.
Dr. Frank McField. And I really want to say publicly that Dr. Frank was goal to help those poor people. That is the UDP goals always, to help the poor people to have a shelter over their head. And then this government...
Okay, and then after Ivan, what about those mobile homes they brought in? Why didn't they try to find some decent houses for people then?
Because those were just supposed to be temporary. But Mom, I don't want to keep you on too long. No, hold on. I want her to get her point across. I want her, because she should be able to say, here's what her viewpoint of what led up to here. I think so. Mom, if you just want to go ahead and then we can respond, is that okay?
Okay. And another thing, okay?
Okay.
Please tell me one thing. If cared so much about the firemen, they have been the government for the past 4 years. Why haven't anything been done until now? Election come around. Now they're saying they want to do this and that for the firemen.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And that is all right now I want to say.
Okay, Mom. Thank you for your call as well.
Right.
Okay.
I respond to the caller about those temporary homes they bring in the hurricane. Those homes meant to shelter people, their houses damaged in the hurricane. And this is a logic thing, is people don't live in those homes to live forever there.
Right. It's temporary.
It was temporary. Okay. That's one. Respond to the homes issue. And then the issue why the UDP didn't do anything about the fires, because we don't have money. The country was broke because of the PPM. Because of the bad management of the PPM, leave us with 81 million deficit. When you owe 81 million and the hard work of the UDP turned that to 25 million surplus, and you see people come blame you why you don't spend money, but there is no money. They left the country broke for $1 billion. The same PPM government left this country with $1 billion. From 200 million this country owe to $1 billion. You imagine 800 million overspending. They spend they overspend this country money. They put this country in a huge financial mess. For generations, this country will pay for my child and your child have to pay. Every year we have to pay $50 million just in for the banks, just in
Loans.
In loans.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
And those people have the guts to come and ask us why we don't do nothing. We do a miracle. Under the UDP government, we do a miracle. Look at the affordable homes we build. Look at the hard work we do. We bring in investment in the times which was a financial problems all over the world. We attract Dr. Shetty Hospital, which provide a lot of work to the Caymanian people. We bring the Enterprise City.
Right. So one thing, you're a member of the UDP, and this is why you're a member. We have a call on the line, but yes. I just want, before we go to the call, is that as a member, this is one of the reasons why you're a member, because you like these policies. You're not the executive member of the UDP is what I'm saying. But you are a member, you are a supporter. Yeah?
Yes.
And one of the things that I want to say is that once membership can begin to debate and have dialogue about issues, that's how we mature politically, yeah?
Right.
So we move it forward. So we can do that. We can say, hey, well, we did this really well, and you can say, hey, we did this well, but we didn't like this, and so on. And it moves us politically, maturity begins. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Hello, caller, you're on there.
Hi, I just have to call back.
Okay, ma'am, that's fine. Okay? That's fine, ma'am. Just take your time, okay?
I'm so sick and tired of hearing the UDP griping and groaning about they could not do anything because the PPM left the country broke. But yet, McKeever can travel the world on government money, claiming to try to bring in business, has yet to mature. He can spend money in the casinos, but yet the country is broke.
Okay,
Did you ever hear that when the PPM was in government? Did you ever hear anyone in the government, in the PPM administration, ever use the government money traveling the world, use them in a casino, and then come back and cry the country's broke?
It was... You want to go ahead?
Yes. I will respond to this caller, which I know there's somebody behind her telling her whatever.
Anyway... I am a human being. I am Caymanian, and I have my own mind.
Yes, ma'am. Let me just say to that, madam, this is Joey, that I don't want you to hang up. I agree. I can hear that you're speaking your mind, okay?
That's fine.
He do not start with me, because I do not need nobody to start me up.
Okay, so he's going to respond to you now,
yes,
okay, madam?
I'm going to respond to her. And as you know, the PPM government, bad management, put us in the gray list of the financial industry. And we, as government, have to travel, right? As Mr. Bush have to travel to change that situation from the gray list to the white list. And that's cost travel and cost money, yes, of course. But we sign agreements with China, with different countries, England.
China, where you are just trying to sell out the country.
No, nobody sell out this country. That is not correct, ma'am.
There was jobs for Caymanians.
Okay, madam.
You were giving practically island away for 81 years. And pretty much giving them everything duty free.
And that was the agreement for the dock you're referring to, madam?
Yes.
No, well, we've discovered since then, and I'm not sure if you missed it, but publicly it's clear that was not an agreement. That was a broad...
The only reason why it never became an agreement is because the United Kingdom had to step in.
No, they stepped in.
Even to them see how bad that deal was.
No, that was not the deal. That's the framework to negotiate from there. And it's been made clear by, I think, as well, independent bodies who've said, this is a framework. So basically, what the two parties will do on a project of this magnitude would be that they would lay out in a framework precisely what they want to discuss, and then negotiate down from there. So it's very broad.
That kind of framework, not even to my 3-year-old son would look at it, give it a second look.
No, I'm telling you that no matter who's there, they would have that framework to begin with, and then they would begin to negotiate from there. And it'll go through several steps. in order to get to what's right, to what the agreement is, and then that becomes public,
Yeah. What I want to say to the caller, first, you accuse Mr. Bush that he's spending money in the casinos. That is
not accused. It is actually out there.
No, it is not correct and not true, and that's not correct and not fact. The correct and truth will be revealed after the court case, and I'm not here to discuss that. And the other issue is...
And that's another thing. Under the PPM administration, how many under the PPM administration is in court for corruption?
Well, if we want to go down that road, Mom, I mean, we can open that up. But I don't think we should, because that's stepping into another area that will lead to a lot more stuff being revealed.
So all I got ask is for that Jordanian to please know what he's talking, look at the facts.
Okay.
Because the PPM administration cares much about this country and even more than UDP.
Okay. Thank you for your call, Mom. Okay. So I think what we can say, Jordanian, is that the PPM have their strong supporters out there. You're a strong supporter of the UDP. I think
it's very sad when a Caymanian call the radio station, accuse a man with 28 years of hard working to the Caymanian people. I read the history of Cayman when people used to say things about Jim Borden.
Yeah.
And when he died, they say he's a great man and nice man.
Yeah.
And the same thing the Caymanian people doing to Mr. Bush.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, Mr. Bush's house is in Wispy, right? And you know it is in Wispy. And it's his door open day and night.
True.
Thousands of people go there and ask for help. And never Mr. Bush turned, even supporters of the PPM. The other day I was in Mr. Bush's house. There was a funeral of one of our sisters in the UDP. And after the funeral, we went to Mr. Bush's house. And I see one of the most woman who always say bad things in the radio against Mr. Bush. I see her there. So I said, look at this man, how he welcome everybody in his house, and even the people who cuss him off and say all kind of things against him. That is a good man. That's a godly man. And always when you miss and you don't find Mr. Bush, yes, I'm Muslim. Yeah. I respect a man like him. He always in the church. But some of them, they talking about him. They never put their foot in that church.
Yeah. So we've gone past. I want to give you an opportunity to just wrap up with closing remarks. We've gone past by about 12 minutes. I want to give you a chance to just wrap up with your comments.
Yes. First, we in the United Democratic Party committed to the poor people in this country. And we as a party done and hard work to this country. Such example, the Shati Hospital, the Cayman Investment Alliance, the Enterprise City, and we build affordable homes for the poor people. We give scholarship, not just through Ministry of Education, through Mr. Bush office. And we do the home and mortgage program to help those Caymanians who was trying to they trying to save their homes. We bring the pension motion to bring back this pension money, which under the PPM government we lose $200 million from our pension, and they sit down there, watch losing that $200 million, the poor people money.
Yeah.
The poor Caymanians' money, which they invest every their blood, their hard work, their sweat, and the PPM allow those companies to go in United States and lose them. We bring motion jobs for Caymanians, to help Caymanians to bring opportunities to Caymanians to get employed and solve the unemployment problem. And we bring human and organ tissue and transplant it to help Caymanians who want a kidney to, if a father to give, And we move Cayman from the gray list to the white list in the financial industry. We save the most important pillars of our economy. We stand for the UK. They want to implement taxes in the Caymanian people, like property tax and other taxes. We say, no, we're not implementing taxes in the Caymanian people. And that is very, very great achievement. We achieve surplus in the budget. And you imagine after $81 million and all this money we owe, we achieve surplus. That's a hard work. And we are workers. In the United Democratic Party, we do hard work. Every member is working hard. I ask the Caymanian people to let the United Democratic Party continue the good and the hard work they're doing for the poor and the middle class. We are for all people. We are for the rich. We are for the poor. We are for the middle class. We are for the Filipinos. We are for the Indians. We are for the Jordanian. We are for anyone. We are for all the people who live in this country. There is no person live under the sky of this country. The UDP don't want to serve. We serve all.
All right. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Jordanian. He's well known. He calls the radio shows. He's very politically involved. He demonstrates his passion about Cayman. He is very involved. I can assure you he was not sent by the UDP to speak here today. And what we got, and I hope you can appreciate, is we have a new Caymanian who is passionate about the country, who loves it, who has selected his political party of choice, and he follows their terms in office very closely, paying attention to what's being done. And as a member, he stays informed, and he reaches out and he connects. So this was an opportunity for me to give him a chance to speak on this radio show. And that same opportunity is extended to any PPM member that wants to come in. And I say a PPM member, someone who is a member, not a candidate, and wants to do what the Jordanian did as it relates to the UDP. He's demonstrating his passion and his support for them. So you can do the same. And I invite you to send me an email at joe@candw.ky or call me, and we can make those arrangements for you. He's shared his passion. He shared some of his life. He shared what he does for a living. And so I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for having the courage to stay involved. Clearly make your position clear as to why you support the UDP.
Thank you, Joey, and God bless the people of this country, and always keep the Cayman Island and the Caymanian people safe, and every person live in this island in harmony and love. And thank you. God bless.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end. I've gone over by about 20 minutes. I want to remind you, I have my first meeting. My meeting tomorrow night is at 7:30. It's at the Frank Sound Park. We'll start at 7:30. We have a show tomorrow night with guests. My friend Juliet, I think, is going to bring some female candidates on to talk about, ask some questions. Juliet always asks the tough questions, she and Patrice. Certainly I appreciate you being a part of the Joe Ebanks radio show once again. Be back here tomorrow, and we're going to leave you with just a little bit of the usual Eminem. And do enjoy, and I hope to see you tomorrow night.